Hey everybody, Dr. Ben Atkins here, and welcome to the Perpetual Sales Engine. Before we dive into anything, I have to warn you. What I'm about to show you is one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable things that I've ever done in my business life. This thing that I'm about to show you, what I'm about to put in your hands, is a weapon that when I first started was very effective for me. But over the years, as I developed how I did what I'm about to show you and how I put this together, it has turned into an absolute powerhouse. Now, what I fully believe is you have a digital agency, you have a coaching business, you have a consulting business, you have a digital product business, whatever it is that you do. What I'm about to show you is something that is going to absolutely change the way that you make sales. And I'm pretty pumped about that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be moving fast today. We're going to be going through a lot of stuff. It's going to be stacking on top of it. Not only are you going to be getting the psychology of how everything works and the tech setup of how everything works, but you're really going to be seeing how to use the templates that I'm going to put in your hands at the end of this call so that you can build these things on your own. So I got a lot of goodies to give to you that are going to make this whole process a lot easier than how I had to learn it. I'm going to save you about 5 years of study that I had to put in, a lot more than that actually. But I'm going to save you guys that. And if you pay attention and you really lock into what we're doing here, my goal for you is to have your first webinar, your first automated, evergreen webinar out there in the next 2 to 4 weeks. And that may sound crazy to you, but when you see sort of how we're putting this all together, that's something that you're going to be able to do. And so, like I said, you got to put in the work. You got to work hard on this. This is not anything that is sit back and push a button for sure. But when you see how we've got this put together, if you put in the work, this is something that's going to get out there, and it's going to be something that makes you sales if you get it out into the world and you do it the way that we show you how to do it. All right, so let's dive in. Let's get started. My request is if you're here live, make sure you ask tons of questions as they come to you. If you're not here live and you're watching the replay of this live training session later, do me a favor, make sure you send in any questions you have to our support. I'm here to help you. Also, when you start following this system, make sure you send us your webinars. We'd be glad to look at your webinars and give you a critique on them. It may take us a day or two here and there. It may take us a week sometimes to give you a good critique because these are long form things, but we're glad to do it. We're glad to do it. That's part of what we want to do to help you out here. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's get started. Let's talk about what we're going to be covering on the call today. So part one, we're going to be talking about how to craft the perfect offer for a webinar attendee. Before you even build these things, you need to have an offer that's good. And so what we want to talk about on this call first is how you put that offer together, how you do it the right way, how you build these offers specifically for a webinar audience that's going to be going through these. Okay, part two, the $1 Million Webinar Template. This is something that, I learned how to do webinars years ago. My first one, just to put this in perspective, my first webinar, I made about $8,000 on it and had no idea what I was doing. And that's when I figured out, you know what, if I made this much and had no idea what I was doing, I should probably learn how to do these correctly. And so I started to learn it out. And over the last 5 to 8 years, this has been something that I've worked on a lot, and it's brought in millions of dollars into my businesses. And I'm going to show you the templates that we've used to do that. Okay, part three, webinar delivery secrets. I'm going to give you some tips, some things that you can do, the process that you can go through to get really, really comfortable at delivering this stuff. Okay, part four, the tech stack. This is going to be how we take these webinars that we put together, how we make them evergreen. You're going to see some real behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to show you some nerdy stuff that shows you how to make these things look great, how to build them from scratch. I'm not just going to give you a template and tell you to run with it. I'm going to give you a template, but I'm also going to show you, hey, this is how you build your own template. So you're going to see the real nerdy stuff behind it. And forgive me if I get a little nerdy in that section, but it's going to be something that really, just part four, if you didn't get the most valuable part, which I think is part two, just part four is going to be worth everything you invested plus a lot more just to learn this stuff, because this is stuff we had to spend a lot of money on with people to learn how to do. Part five, how to, put an ad behind this thing. How do you create the ad? How do you do the copy that you rock this thing out so that you get people to actually go to your webinar? And then part 6, what's the follow-up? What's the follow-up system behind these webinars so that even if they don't watch it, when they sign up for it, how do you get them back to the webinar? How do you get those extra chances at sales? So do me a quick favor. I would love for you all to jump into the chat right now just to let me know that you're here, you're ready to go, and that you got a nice smoothie to drink or a nice, you're a nice alcoholic beverage, whatever it happens to be that you're rocking right now. Let me know in the chat that you're ready to go, and that will give me the cue. Let's start it. Bulletproof coffee. Now that's a much healthier alternative. I love it. That's definitely the way to go, especially this time of day if you're where I'm at. Awesome. Awesome. All right, so let's dive in. Let's get started. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the perfect offer.